Tuesday in Tryon, North Carolina on Melrose Mountain. The three basic needs we all have in our lives: love, restrictions, and a chance to achieve. It's wonderful when we can have all three things: love, restrictions, which are not always thought as being positive, but they really are, and a chance to achieve something. Once we get those three things balanced properly in our lives, we find the fullness of life. Love is not just eros love, although that's wonderful. Love is also agape kind of love, when we really learn how to love other people. And a friendship kind of love is a good thing, because we're to love one another. But one of the things that we probably take for granted is love. In the Old Testament, it tells us that Isaac loved Rebekah. It tells us that Jacob loved Rachel. It tells us to enjoy life with the woman you love all the days of your life, for their fleeting days, and this is your reward in life. The Song of Solomon in chapter 1, verse 2 says, "Love is better than wine." All of that is true. We also look into the Old Testament and we see the stories of Samson and Delilah. We see the betrayal of love over and over again. And so we should never take love for granted. And love as man provides it is a very difficult thing. For I truly believe that my dad loved my mother and my mother loved my dad, and yet only a few years into their marriage, in relative terms, they split. All around me I see couples that are splitting because it takes two people to make a union, two people who truly love each other. If you're depending totally upon the love of your mate or someone that you're dating, if you're single, you're making a bad mistake, because you see, that love has to be Christ-centered and is dependent upon both people, and not always can two people be depended upon. But the wonderful thing about God's love is that it is demonstrated daily. Romans chapter 5 verse 8 says, "God demonstrated his own love toward us, that while we were yet sinners, Christ died for us." Now compare that with human love. Most marriages and most relationships make it really well while we are saints, while things are going well. But how many could easily say, "I continue to love my mate or my girlfriend or boyfriend because even though they're rascals, even though they're treacherous, even though they are sinners, I demonstrate my love to them every day." But that's what God did. In Romans chapter 8, verses 35 through 39, it tells us that nothing can separate us from the love of God. And it lists a whole bunch of things which are extreme to tell us that nothing, absolutely nothing, can separate us from the love of God. Wouldn't it be wonderful if in our relationships here on this earth, with husbands, wives, children, wouldn't it be wonderful if nothing could separate us from that love? Wouldn't it be wonderful if we could be God-like and to love each other with an unconditional love demonstrated daily, even when those that we love are sinners? It's a real challenge, isn't it? Well, all I can tell you is that my Bible tells me to love my wife as Christ loved the church and was willing to lay down his life for her. And my Bible tells me to love others, even those that despitefully use me. And that's a task. But if I want to see a role model for that kind of love, all I have to do is pick up the pages of my Bible and see that God has that kind of love, and try to model my love in the same fashion that God modeled his love, demonstrating it daily. Well, that's your challenge for today. Love your wives, your children, your neighbors as yourself, with a God-like love, even when they're sinners. Your thought for the day. God bless you.